January 2026 changes everything. Gun owners across the country are on a countdown clock. In just days, 5 major legal changes will hit hard, targeting concealed carry rights and reshaping the rules at both the federal and state levels. These are not proposals or rumors. These are signed, scheduled, and enforceable laws that take effect beginning January 1st, 2026. And yet, most Americans still have no clue what's coming. If you carry a firearm, travel between states, or ever consider buying an NFA item like a suppressor or short-barreled rifle, this video will change everything you thought you knew about compliance. From background checks to red flag laws, from permit training to tax stamp elimination, the changes coming this year could turn innocent gun owners into instant felons. This isn't political hype. It's happening now. Stay with us as we break down each change, what it means for you, and how to protect yourself and your rights before it's too late. Welcome to Firearms Law Advisor. Subscribe now and make sure your family and your freedom stay one step ahead. Chapter 1. The $200 tax stamp is gone. A change decades in the making finally takes effect on January 1st, 2026. The infamous $200 NFA tax stamp, once required for suppressors, SBRS, and other NFA items, is being eliminated. But that doesn't mean you can skip registration or ATF paperwork. Starting January 1st, the $200 fee for NFA items like suppressors and SBRS disappears. Registration, fingerprinting, and background checks are still mandatory. Forms submitted before January 1st are not eligible for refunds. Submitting paperwork after January 1st allows you to skip the fee but not the process. This change will flood the system with new applications. Dealers are already taking pre-orders, but your paperwork must be dated after January 1st to legally qualify for the waived fee. Skip that detail and you risk a 10-year federal prison sentence. Chapter 2. Straw purchase penalties double. On November 1st, 2025, the U.S. Sentencing Commission quietly pushed through a massive penalty increase that's already in effect. Straw purchases and lying on federal gun forms now carry federal time like never before. Straw purchase maximums jumped from 5 years to 10 years in federal prison. Lying about drug use on Form 4473 now carries a 5-year sentence. ATF is using social media, video surveillance, and banking records to cross-check gun sales. Even gifting firearms outside the immediate family without documentation is now a risk. This is the federal government's newest weapon, targeting honest gun owners through technicalities and form errors. Answer every question on Form 4473 like your freedom depends on it, because now it truly does. Chapter 3. Colorado's mandatory training law. Colorado is creating a new legal hoop just to own semi-automatic firearms. Starting August 1st, 2026, you can't legally take possession of a semi-auto rifle, pistol, or shotgun without completing mandatory training and getting a permit. A 4-hour state-certified course and live fire qualification are now required. Applies to all semi-autos unless you hold a Colorado concealed carry permit. Guns owned before the law goes live are grandfathered in. Penalty includes jail time up to 120 days and fines up to $750. This is not just a state law, it's a model other states are likely to copy. If you live in Colorado or plan to move there, you'll need to plan your purchases and training now to avoid legal traps. Chapter 4. Kentucky's red flag gun seizures. Starting February 1st, 2026, Kentucky becomes the latest state to adopt red flag laws. But this one is especially dangerous for gun owners because it allows confiscation before any court hearing based on minimal evidence and no prior criminal history. Any family member, household member, dating partner, or police officer can file a petition. Judges can issue emergency gun seizure orders without your knowledge. You must surrender all firearms and your concealed carry license within 24 hours. You won't get a hearing for up to 14 days, and even then, orders can last a full year. This law is ripe for abuse. In real-world cases from other states, ex-spouses and roommates have used red flag laws during heated breakups or custody battles, often without evidence. Once your guns are taken, getting them back is not automatic. You'll need to file another petition, hire a lawyer, and fight through a court process that treats you as guilty until proven innocent. Chapter 5. National carry permits may finally happen. The Federal Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, known as H.R. 38, has returned, and this time it might pass. If it becomes law, it would require every U.S. state to honor concealed carry permits from any other state, just like driver's licenses. H.R. 38 was reintroduced in January 2025 with over 200 co-sponsors. The law would eliminate the need to check confusing reciprocity maps. Your home state permit would be valid in all 50 states, including New York and California. It previously passed the House in 2017 but stalled in the Senate. Supporters say this would end the patchwork nightmare gun owners face when crossing state lines, but opponents are already planning court challenges if it passes. Until it's signed into law and survives those challenges, it's not yet safe to travel out of state without checking current reciprocity. Keep your permits current and obey local laws because one wrong step can still land you in jail. Chapter 6. Straw purchase penalties just doubled. If you're thinking of buying a firearm for someone else, even as a favor, think again. As of November 1st, 2025, the federal government has raised the penalties for straw purchases and lying on ATF, Form 4473, and they are not messing around. Straw purchase penalties have increased from 5 years to 10 years in federal prison. The penalty for lying about drug use on Form 4473 has gone from 2 years to 5. The ATF is now cross-referencing gun forms with bank statements, social media, and security camera footage. Over 300 prosecutions have already happened in 2024, and more are expected in 2026. A real-life case in Texas involved a woman buying a Glock for her boyfriend, who was legally prohibited. She thought it was harmless. Now she's facing nearly a decade in federal prison. The ATF is watching closely, and prosecutors are going after even minor technical violations. Never buy a firearm for anyone but yourself or an immediate family member who can legally possess it. Chapter 7. Colorado forces training before you buy. A major new mandate in Colorado means that buying a semi-automatic firearm now requires mandatory training. This is the first law of its kind and could spread to other states quickly. Effective August 1st, 2026, you must complete a 4-hour state-approved training course before buying any semi-auto. The law applies to rifles, pistols, and shotguns. It includes classroom instruction and a live fire qualification. If you already have a Colorado concealed carry permit, you're exempt. This law is modeled after handgun licensing requirements in places like New York and Connecticut, where training mandates often lead to backlogs and delays. Dealers are now required to verify permits, and failing to do so can result in them being penalized too. Expect classes to be booked months in advance. If you plan to buy a semi-auto in Colorado, take action now or risk legal trouble later. Chapter 8. NFA fee gone, the trap still active. For decades, the $200 NFA tax stamp has been a costly barrier for law-abiding Americans who want suppressors or short-barreled rifles. But that changes on January 1st, 2026, when the fee vanishes but the risks remain. You still need to register NFA items like suppressors and SBRS, but the fee is gone. If you filed paperwork after November 1st, 2025, the ATF won't refund you. New forms must be dated January 1st or later to qualify for the zero fee option. You must still submit fingerprints, passport photos, and pass a background check. Despite the fee being gone, the legal consequences for skipping the paperwork are just as severe. Possessing an unregistered suppressor remains a 10-year felony. If you're buying, make sure everything is filed correctly and legally after January 1st. The savings are real, but so are the stakes if you mess it up. Chapter 9. Blue states plot retroactive gun bans. Behind the scenes, several anti-gun states are quietly preparing for retroactive bans based on upcoming court rulings and new federal funding packages. This could affect previously legal firearms and accessories. States like California, New York, and New Jersey are reviewing old registries for future reclassification. New bills propose redefining assault weapons based on function, not just appearance. There are efforts to ban ownership retroactively, not just future sales. Gun owners may receive letters demanding surrender or disposal under threat of prosecution. This isn't speculation. In New Jersey, a retired cop was charged in 2023 for owning magazines he had legally purchased a decade ago. These quiet moves could become law overnight, turning legal gun owners into instant felons. Stay alert. Subscribe to state-level legal updates and consult with a firearms attorney if you receive any official notice. Chapter 10. What to do now, before January 1st hits. With so many changes hitting at once, the biggest mistake you can make is to wait. You need a concrete checklist to protect yourself before these laws take effect. Mark January 1st, 2026 as your deadline for all NFA item purchases or paperwork updates. If you live in Colorado, schedule your mandatory training well before August. Watch Kentucky's red flag rollout and consult legal counsel if you're at risk. Do not commit a straw purchase. Penalties are now life-changing. Stay updated on HR 38 and keep your travel permits current. Use a simple action plan. Put key dates in your phone, follow your state's firearms association for alerts, If you need to buy, register, or train, do it before your rights expire with the stroke of a pen. This is not a drill. It's already happening. This isn't some future debate. These laws are real, signed, and going into effect whether you're ready or not. And while most gun owners are still asleep at the wheel, you now have the full playbook. The window to prepare is closing fast. Make sure you're legal before it's too late. The smallest mistake in 2026 could cost you your guns, your freedom, or both. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit like, share it with every gun owner you know, and subscribe to Firearms Law Advisor so you never miss another critical update. The next 30 days could change everything. Stay sharp, stay legal, and stay free.